people who might join, this is just to go over again where we stand as far as the year is concerned and what we've covered and what we still need to cover and what I'm hoping to achieve by the middle of the year. That's mid-year assessment. So we've dealt with first year learning unit. So this is just quickly, let's go through this very quickly because I want to cover a little bit of ground today. We've covered this first learning unit, Introduction to Dimensioning, that we did with the exercise 2 puzzle block, okay? We're busy on the second learning unit, CAD and Engineering Media Literacy, which we've done with exercise 1, the twist grip, the very first one we did. I've counted it in here. And then this exercise 3, this KeyFob parts 1, 2, and 3. So you'll see that these 2 learning units only count for 8% of your total year mark. So for those, so for those who have not submitted any work or who are behind or feel a bit lost, there's hope. There's only 8%. If you've lost marks or if you haven't got any marks yet, you can still catch up. There's a lot, there's a fair amount of opportunity. So I'm wanting to encourage you, if you haven't submitted marks, if you need help, submit work to me because then I can help you. But if you don't submit work, I can't. All right. Hi, John. Yes, Vian. Vian,
sorry to interrupt you. I just want to potentially can I meet you after today's lecture if you don't run out of time at the end of the day.
Yes, we can meet. It would have to be this evening or tomorrow morning.
No, that's perfect.
Is that okay?
I mean, whatever time suits you. I'm quite easy.
Okay, no problem. I have no problem meeting with you. Yeah, all right. John is here. And who else? 13. Oba King. Have I got Oba King? Yes, I have. Right. Okay, so hopefully this explains some of where we're going. So the next 2 units we're going to be dealing with are designing this third learning unit, designing and dimensioning an extrusion profile. So that's where we're really going to get into how to use tolerances. So that's going to be really important. But everything up to this point will help you in the third learning unit. And the fourth learning unit is designing and dimensioning a folded sheet product. Likewise, will involve tolerances and all the work you've dealt with up to this point. So I think that's about it. Oh, and then just to quickly illustrate, the fifth learning unit is elementary assembly, and the sixth learning is assembly designing multiple injection molded parts. Now, we've actually just dealt with those 2 parts in this KeyFob exercise. So in terms of content, you guys are well ahead as far as the years, what you need to understand to cover ground later on. So I'm hoping that this will help you in much later in the year as well. So take heart, and it's maybe, yeah. Did someone want to say something? No? Okay, never mind. Right, so but from my point of view, all of this stuff, assembly, is required before you can do tolerances, because you can't really deal with tolerances without understanding assembly. Okay, so I'm just going to shut this screen down for now and save. Going to Solidworks. Alright, sorry, I was busy playing before we started, so I just want to quickly do something like this. And let's do a quick recap of what we did 2 weeks ago. Sorry about that. So I was supposed to make that visible. Just didn't do it. Need to exit sketch, I think. No. I'm not sure what's going on here, but basically it was. Well, you'll know about this because you've just been dealing with it. Putting these two bosses in, the head boss and then the thread boss in the top. I really need to try and get this to show. Not sure why it's doing that. Show. So it might be dependent on something else. Oh, it's suppressed. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is a cross-section view. What I've quickly done here, just to illustrate what you could do, is I've actually introduced all of the bits and pieces that I've asked you to look at for the assembly file into a single part file. So if you have a look at the top here, it says KeyFob solid part. I have my button in here, and I'm just not sure where it is. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I just need to show it. There you go. Okay, so all the parts that I need are actually in this single part file. And I've shown you this method because this is a method used by lots and lots of people around the world. And it's really got so many advantages over using the traditional assembly way of doing things. So we're going to go through one or two of those a little bit later. Right now, I just want to move on to creating this button. And in particular, I want to show you how to, well, let's just go into that. Just go to this button.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask a question? For this part file as this file, do you need to send every other file as well? Or could you just send them this mode?
That's one of the huge advantages of this, is that you send one file.
Oh, okay, but
That's the beauty of it, is you don't have to coordinate your files. Like if I get files from you guys now with an assembly file, I have to have the other files associated with it before I can read anything. I just can't read anything if I don't get it. Okay, so that's one of the big beauties of this multi-body part file workflow, is you can just have one big file. It does get big though, and so you need some computing power to deal with it. But for what you guys are doing this year and next year, it shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to deal with it quite adequately. Okay, so I've got this button here. I'm going to start from scratch. You'll just excuse me while I quickly create a new configuration. I'm just going to say, all right, so those who've looked at my video on doing what was it, the stool seat, will know about configurations. This is very useful if you want to do different versions of the same object in one file. It's another kind of multi-body type thing. So I'm going to start with the top plane. See if I can't do this as quickly as possible. So I know what I need to do here. Type 16. Right, so I'm creating my base, which is just a square, 16 millimeters. And then I'm going to extrude that upwards by about 2 millimeters, I think is right. I'm going to insert a sketch on the top. Right, and that has to be 15. This I know because I've practiced. Let's go out of that. Oh, wait, let's just go back a step. So I'm going to go back to this boss extrude step. I'm going to put the drafts in straight away. So here I want, I think it was a 1 degree draft, can't remember. I'll leave it at 1 and see what happens. think it should be fine. I'm going to use this sketch. So just to reiterate on this thing of drafts, after you've done your basic shapes, the first thing you want to do is put your drafts in and then put the fillets in. So I'm going to use that sketch. I'm going to extrude up by about, I think it was 1.2, but this isn't going to matter. I'm going to introduce the draft here. I'm going to make this a nice steep draft of about 3 degrees. Okay, and you see these two parts are merged. And then on top of this, some of you may have noticed I've put in a dome. This is a nice little feature that you might not know about. Just type in dome. Whatever circular surface you choose, it'll put a dome in, and you can control the height of that. So I'm going to make mine about 1.25. Let's see what that does. So you can see in profile, that's okay, maybe a little bit lower. All right. Okay, and then the next step is to put in the major fillet. So I'm going to select a corner, select fillet, and put in something appropriate. Let's see, 2, make it a bit smaller, 1.5. All right, and then I think you might have seen this trick. If you select another corner, you should get, not doing it, control. You should get a little dialog box. Not happening today. There it is. Okay, so you can now select here. It'll select all the similar features, or it'll try and guess which of the features you want to fillet. So in this case, I'm just going to select this basic one. It'll fill that last one in. Let's just do that again. Fillet. Type in 1.5. As soon as I select the second one, there we go. It should select. This little dialog box should come up. So I'm going to select this first option here, which it shows me with the green lines which edges I'm going to fillet. So it's a very quick way of doing the filleting. Right, so I'm going to select this face, fillet it quickly, so 0.2 or something like that. It's great. It's fine. This face, fillet that one as well. So about a 0.3. All right, and so there's the basic button done. And then I'm going to shell this. So I've selected the face already, and I want that to be, it's going to have to be quite small, like 0.6 or something like that. Should be all right. So neat thing done. Okay, so now this will be new to you. I need to put in a post in the middle and some ribs. So I'm going to, just because I want to sort of be more accurate to what really happens, I'm going to create a reference plane a little bit below this starting surface. So I'm going to make that, say, about 0.2. I'm going to say flip offset. So you can see that the plane is now a little bit below the wall of the button, and on that I'm going to now sketch, and from the center I'm going to put a circle, and then I'm going to put a line, which I won't, I don't need to make this line touch anything. It just needs to touch this circle. I might show you just now how you can do, well, actually I will show you another version of this. So quickly dimension this so that it's fully defined at 2.5. This length, just in case I need to change it. All right, and so at the moment I'm creating the sort of the structure for the ribs. So I need 3 ribs, or I want 3 ribs. So I'm going to select this piece, and I'm going to go to sketch pattern, circular sketch pattern, and you'll see I've already got the center point selected as the axis of rotation, and all I need to do now is type in 3 because it's got 360 degrees. I think you know about this already. You can change this, for instance. So if I go 180, you'll see it'll put just 3 in at 180 degrees. But I do want it to be 360 for now. And that's it. Right, so it's not fully defined, and that's because I just need to, I think, make sure that these two are specified. No, that's not it. Equal. Or I think what this needs is to be constrained with a symmetry. See if that works. Nope. All right. I can't remember why it doesn't do this. I'm going to leave it unconstrained for now, but this would I definitely wouldn't leave it like this ordinarily. So in the interests of time, let's go out of that sketch. So that's all I need for ribs. I just need a starting sketch. I go to the rib command, select the sketch, or the other way around. You could select the sketch first, and you'll see straight away that it's given me ribs that are way too large because it's a defaulting to 1 whole millimeter. So I'm going to type in here something around 0.36. And the reason I'm typing in 0.36 is because in my head, let's try and get this thing to, or it's not showing up here. No. Right, the reason this is happening is because there's a point in the dimensioning that won't disappear. 3.6. Few gremlins today. Right, the reason I've chosen 0.36 is because if I divide 0.6, which is my wall thickness, by 0.66, which is 2/3, I'll get a reasonable wall thickness for my ribs to be, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So I'm going to click OK, and you'll see it's now shown me what the ribs are going to look like, and I just need to make sure it's pointing. You'll see this little arrow. I can click on the arrow, I can make it point the wrong way. So if it's not going to work, just make sure that the arrow is pointed in the right way. And then on the left-hand side, you can see you can either select the second side, which makes your rib go to the left or right, or across the midplane or to the left. Question, someone? No. And I'm going to put my taper in, so I don't have to worry about that. So 1/2 degree. And in this case, it already knows that because I'm going from a lower point to a higher point in terms of molding, it's drafting it outwards. So click OK, and you'll see it extends the ribs all the way out to this point here. Right, so now, as far as molding goes, I need edges in here. So let me just show you quickly this inefficient way of doing this. So I'm going to put a very small edge fillet in here, and I'm going to try and select faces like this. And no matter what I do, I can't get it to select the faces that I need. That's because there's no fillet between this face and that face, and there's no fillet between this face and that face. So the thing to do here is to go up one step using your feature manager and quickly introduce fillets into these earlier stages. So that's 0.3, let's make that 0.2, and let's do the same for that face. All right, so this is very powerful. You can see that I've just taken my one feature, cancelled it for the moment, put in a new feature, and then reintroduced this feature by pulling on this little bar at the bottom. And now when I try and put a fillet in here, you'll see it actually automatically chooses much more suitable paths. So let's see if we can get this to do not quite right. Okay, not as well as I thought it would. Right, so I'm going to have to choose this one by one. I know why. The secret is to select from the end. There we go. Not in the middle. No, that's not doing it. We have to do it by hand, unfortunately. But I think as long as you understand the principle, I know why. I know why this didn't work so well. In fact, let's do that quickly. If I just introduce a fillet into these corners, 1, 2, do all of those. Then, it's actually done the whole lot. Right, so there's a little bit of a fillet missing. All done. Right, let's save that. Okay, so now what I need on top of this is just an extension of this little pin in the middle. That's to connect with my button. And in fact, I've put these fillets in the wrong place again. So let's just go up one. Hope this will work. Put a sketch on that plane. I'm just making sure the sketch lines up with that line, and then see if I can't grab this as an edge. All right, so I've got that sketch. I'm going to use it to protrude, put in 0.5 taper, and I'm going to leave it at 1.2. Go. Perfect. So all the fillets are filled in, and this thing's ready to be used. All right. Any questions so far? Everyone happy? Okay, let's see if we can go across to our assembly, which is, have I got it open? Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm assuming we've only got about 10 minutes left, so we'll once this stops, we'll meet again at about 2 o'clock. So I'm assuming that most of you have got most of this right. Let's just start from the outside. I can't remember. I think you didn't have to do the keyhole. Is that right? I mean the buttonhole. You could if you wanted to, but
We didn't need to.
didn't need to do it. Yeah, right. Okay, so what I've done there, let me just open that quickly, just to do that, in case anyone wants to know. Let's go up one. Oh, actually, I've done it in my a bit of a problem. So I've actually done it in my my KeyFob multi-body part file. So let's see if we can't get all of these to disappear. Find that one. All this is a sketch. So there's a single sketch in here, which I've put on. Suppose let me do it quickly. So I've selected one of my planes, which is the plane that runs through the middle, which is the right plane, I think. Yes, the right plane. I put a sketch in there. Oh yeah, and this does require that you have some way of locating this, which I'm not going to show right now. Oh wait, no, it does require, in fact, sorry about that, I'm getting a bit beyond myself. It does require that you extrude. And that extrusion requires that you know where you're placing this. Or failing that, that you have a way of locating it afterwards, which of course I've got. If I double click on my sketch, you'll see I've got this dimension 6.5, which I can use to change its position. Right, so that's what I've got. I'll quickly go back to front plane, no, right plane, sketch. Just putting in a section view so I can see what I'm doing. And I put in a quick sketch from edge to there, and up again. And then I located this. I quickly dimensioned it, say 0.35. That was about 3.5. And the way I located this is one of my favorite tricks. Go to temporary axes, and there I've got that temporary axis for this hole, which I'm going to now use that to place this one here. Right, so that little point there is contradicting. So I can put this exactly where I want it to be, let's make 7.6. And I think this just needs to be collinear with that line, or it just needs to be horizontal. Horizontal. There you go. So we've got a fully defined sketch. Exit this, and then just exit that. Use that sketch to do a revolved cut. So revolved cut is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th command. If it gives you this little error here, just click in the axis of revolution, delete it, or just select the axis of this hole which we've already made visible, and there you have it. So you've got your cutout. Okay. Right, now I'm lost as to what I was going to do. Oh yes, we're just going to quickly, I was going to quickly insert that button. Browse, it's my button. And then just to recap what I said last week, last time we met is, oh, this is frozen. Okay, if things freeze, it's because my computer is old and doesn't have enough RAM to cope with the recording and what SolidWorks is requiring at the same time. So that's why we're stuck. Just have to wait till it catches up. Any questions while I'm waiting for my ancient rig to catch up with me? None. Are we still meeting, by the way? Let's just see. Yeah, still got about 5 minutes, I think. Right. Okay. Looks like we're back in business. So if I click on the OK button once I've inserted a component, it'll place it in the position that I originated it, which in this case is not what I want because now it's actually locked in place. But I can right click on this and say float, and now it can be brought in, and I can turn it around by just right clicking, holding a face or an edge. And then to get this to locate in the middle, select that face, shift, select that face, concentric. And if it does that to you and it turns it upside down, just go to that mate, which is this one, the last one done, and just right click and say flip mate alignment, and it'll flip it for you. And now I want to see that part and that part on their own, so I just select them both, right click, select isolate, and now I can turn this. But what I can also do is I can make sure that this button sits in a certain relationship to the body, which at the moment it won't give me the mate automatically. But if I go over to mates, the only mate possible here is this special mate called width. So it's given me width, and I say okay. All right, and so this part is almost fully defined. I can just move it up and down, which I kind of wanted to do. So just for the time being, I'm going to make those two with a distance. I'm going to make it 0.1. Okay, so if we do a quick section through here, we can see that this button is sitting inside here nicely. Right, so let me see if in the available time I can show you why why I'm showing you this sort of multi-body part thing so much. Look at this this thread boss which I've got in here. It's facing the wrong way. Those two there should be on this side, and this one, which is sort of a dorsal one, should be facing the opposite direction. Also, what I don't like about this design is it doesn't show you what the front end is. It needs some sort of line in the front here. So I'm going to go back to that file. And here we might cut out of time. If we do, we'll just carry on afterwards. I'm going to go back to my KeyFob. And the first issue I'm going to deal with is, let's make these all visible. I'm going to change the shape of this. So go to the main body sketch, edit the sketch. And this is a little trick which you're going to find terribly useful. If I want to replace that line with another line, if I just draw another line in its place, it's going to cause huge problems because Solidworks is not going to recognize the sketch as a complete sketch anymore. So what I can do is I can replace this line using a command called replace line.